So, Filmic Pro, the iPhone app to unlock all of your camera's capabilities. Do we like it? Is it good? Personally, I don't think so. Failing forward filmmaking is not necessarily the most sound advice. It's just my opinion. And I don't know if that's worth anything, but here I am, giving it anyway. Yeah, if you've used iPhones or tried to shoot with iPhones before, then you'll probably be relatively aware of it. Filmic Pro has a lot of capabilities, and I think, if you have the time and the patience to learn about it, then yeah, it works. Filmic Pro is not a good camera interface, I'll say that. That's mainly what I don't like about it. There's a lot of buttons in Filmic Pro that don't necessarily translate to using a conventional cinema camera or a DSLR or any type of camera. iPhone, for some reason, have just paired up with this company and they've tried to make this unique type of camera interface that just is trying to be user-friendly. First thing I don't like about Filmic Pro. So, you buy it on the app, $15 sound. $15, no worries. And then if you actually want to use it, and if you actually want to take the capabilities from Filmic Pro, you've got to have another in-app purchase, which is another 15 quid. And it's like, why not just charge 30 and unlock the full thing? Initial cost, 15, in-app purchase to actually do everything, another 15. Just call it 30. I'm fine with that. Don't try and trick me. I mean, I do think iPhones are great and the capabilities of those cameras are pretty good. But every other camera in every other phone has capabilities of unlocking things like shutter speed, ISO, all that jazz, in the native app, and gives you full brain and full capabilities within it. So why are you needing to charge an extra 30 quid just to be able to, connect to friggin' gimbal? Basic setups. Let's go in here. For some reason, this circle means exposure, focus, and zoom. Because that's how cameras work, apparently. Right, so I have to lock my shutter, right? And then I push my ISO down. But then it doesn't give me the chance to then also lock the ISO. When I lock the ISO, when I touch it, it just does that and slides it over to now I'm shooting in 3000 ISO and a shutter speed of 1/48,000. That's just with an absolute slight mistake of a touch, which is very easy to do, and I do it all the time. Okay, I slide that back over to my initial one, which the settings should be saved, and yet now my shutter speed is still locked, but now it's 1/75, and my ISO is at 46. So I have to unlock that. Ah, shit. Okay. Deleting, should have done this before the video. How have I got insufficient storage? I deleted the thing. I deleted it. I've deleted it from the app. Okay, so this is just another annoying thing about Filmic Pro. I've deleted it from the app. Now, the app holds your camera footage, and you've got to take it from the app onto your phone. Now, what I'm thinking is I'm just going to delete the app and then reinstall it. A good feature, also a bad feature of Filmic Pro, is that we've got this controller app. So let's say we want to shoot and my iPhone 8 or wherever has a terrible camera, so we're just not going to use that one. We're going to use it on the iPhone 13. Why do you not have enough storage? I just deleted things. Okay, so we're now using my iPhone because that iPhone is somehow out of storage, and I have a feeling that this one might be soon too as well. So we can't use mine for the microphone anymore. Apologies. Frame rate, which really should be an option in the main screen, but it's not. So we're going to go to settings, we're going to go to frame rate, we're going to go, okay, so if you had 240, whatever, this iPhone's a bit of an older one, And 25, 25, cool. Go 25, like it, right? For some reason, that's not an instant option. Right, so the focus wheel, that is quite nice. If you get a gimbal and connect the gimbal to it, the gimbal or the zoom anyway. I think some of the other ones have it as well. I don't think the Osmo or whatever it is. I don't think the DJI ones have the focus wheel, but the zooms do, and it does feel nice, especially if you get a good hang of it. Surely it should be one on one end for focus on this end, and then on the left should be zoom, because anybody that knows when you zoom it gets out of focus, it affects the focus. So why would you not have an option to have control of both? Okay, so this little bad boy here is your autofocus, and I move that around, and then if it's white, that means it's gonna keep it in autofocus. If I tap it again and it goes red, that it keeps it in locked, so whatever distance that was. Now if you've got this little circle here, then that's now the exposure. So I unlocked there and stuck it there, then it's going to stay there. Now these are meant to be locked. The exposure, as I go the exposure, lock it off to that light, okay? And then move it around, and move it back, and then move it around again. You can see it's very subtle, but it doesn't seem to be actually locked. Bits get darker, bits get, like, it's very subtle. You just, and then it goes like there, and then it's dark again. Why? It's meant to be locked. That's not locking. I mean, it's locking more than it would be if I unlock that, and then I'm going around the screen, obviously, and it's adjusting to it. But if you lock it there, and look in that corner, if you pay attention to the darkest part of that corner, it does change. So, I don't know what that's about. That little A, or whatever the symbol is, gives us what's in focus. That's quite good, the focus assist. And then we got our negative color, false color, whatever you want to call it. That's another exposure thing. I don't know what that one's called, but, and then you got your Zeppas. So that's pretty good. And again, that's on the home screen. I don't know why all four of these are on the home screen and frame rate somehow in the settings, but whatever. If you went auto balance, white balance, let's set, and you lock it up. Auto white balance, no, I want it locked. So I'd go unlock it, and then there we go. When it's there, lock it off. It's alright. Again, it's just, there's no other camera that works like that, and I just don't know why they're trying to be so innovative with every little bit of it. Like, the camera settings have worked on different cameras, and they're all translatable for so long. Yes, you can deep dive in, like, you know, the Sony A7 III, or just Sony's interfaces in general are notoriously terrible, but I would say that this is just as bad. And for iPhone, which are meant to be user friendly. And again, you can say, okay, it's Filmic Pro, but iPhone and Filmic work very closely together. The reason why iPhone don't have the access to all of the little nitty gritty bits in their camera is because they want you to buy Filmic Pro, because they have money invested in Filmic Pro. This is your, you know how the iPhones, the newer ones, have different lenses. That would be to switch the lens there. If I went like that, putting it back, there we go. What else? See now, but then I just did that, and now all my settings are frigged. ISO and shutter speed have no relation to each other. It would make maybe more sense if you had the iPhone, it would make more sense if you had the shutter speed and the frame rate maybe connected in the same dial, but exposure is not two things where one should be locked and one shouldn't be locked. And the slightest touch, anyway. Every time you shoot something, it saves it in here. So if I just go shoot, and do that, and then it comes up here, and then I have the option to save it to the camera roll, which is again dumb. Just, I don't know why they did that, because if you have problems with the app, accidentally delete the app, just save it to the camera roll, or have it in one place. Maybe have the option to turn it off, but I don't know why that the default isn't save to camera roll all the time. I mean, that's your own deal. Again, I was talking about the remote, which is pretty good. The remote's a cool thing on the other app, but it's not real time, so it doesn't, it's maybe like a 2-second delay on it, which, so it's only really good for setting it and pressing play. You couldn't necessarily have one person with the gimbal and then another person somewhere else pulling focus and actually doing the nitty-gritty camera work of it. It's more just like set, you know, if I stuck the thing there and couldn't see the screen, then I'd want the controller. So it's helpful, but it could be way better. I would want something where I could have a focus puller at the side and then have somebody else with the gimbal or holding the camera, and they're focusing on the camera movement, and then another person's concentrated on the focus and the zooming. Scope's down there, I think that's where the scope should be. I'm cool with that, that's alright. For your white balance and your exposure, I'm like, yeah, that's quite good. Realistically, the app's been out for many years now. I was using it when the iPhone 10 came out, and I thought it was a good idea to shoot on iPhones, and realistically, I mean, kind of, it was. I mean, it's been out for a bit longer than that as well. I think the iPhone 13 Pro, now that it's shooting ProRes, we're actually there where it is a viable option. Filmic Pro, it's not great. I don't like it. I don't like it. If they made some adjustments, it could be actually a very user-friendly app. However, it's such simple little fixes. It's like somebody made it that's never used a camera before. It has all the capabilities of a camera, undeniably, but it's like things are hidden. With the slightest touch, you mess up all your settings. Like a little mistake, the weird thing of locking and then connecting the zoom and the friggin' focus is the same, and you can't separate those two. Feels silly. Feels silly. The whole thing's silly. Problem is, there's no other alternative when you're shooting on iPhones, really. There's a couple apps that'll do a couple different things, but Filmic Pro is unfortunately the best option, and iPhone have worked hard in making sure it's the best option, and they put a lot of money into it, and that's why they don't want you to like shoot on native. And you know, their native app is pretty idiot proof and you can get some good like photos and stuff, but you know, if you want to really unlock the potential of that 1-inch sensor, ProRes, 4K, all the juicy bits, unfortunately we're going to have to still keep using Filmic Pro, and hopefully they'll fix some of the issues. Failing forward filmmaking, and I'll see you next time.